So, I think we're live now. My first ever stream here on Twitch. What better way to do it than with Marvel World? Yeah, welcome everybody. Today we're going to build a country track live here on stream. This is of course something I've done for, I think 6 months now. I think I published my first country track, the Germany track, my home track, so to speak, somewhere in February, I think. And I recently checked a few minutes ago, and we're currently at 43 country tracks are already uploaded. And today we're going to add track 44, or at least start to add track 44. Don't know if we will be able to finish it today. Yeah, like I said, this is my first stream. Unfortunately, I have absolutely no idea of all the technical stuff that Twitch has to offer for these streams. Even the most tiny, or the tiniest things, or the littlest things, like chat overlay. If I want to look into the Twitch chat, I will need to tab out of Marvel World and into Twitch to see if anyone has wrote anything into the chat. But yeah, I think we will be able to do this. Now, if I look into the Discord, I don't think anyone has voted for any of the 7 countries that I offered for today's stream. So, if I don't hear any complaints from anyone else now during the stream spontaneously, then I think I will decide on my own. Maybe I should have thought about this before the stream, because I haven't decided yet. Let's see, what did I do? Argentina, Cook Islands, Guyana, Jamaica, Lebanon, Pakistan, Thailand. I think, given that I, like I said, had an idea for every single of these countries, I think we're gonna do the Cook Islands today, because I feel like this is, yeah, maybe the most entertaining of these 7 ideas that I had, as well as yeah, some sort of debut in my country tracks, because I plan to implement the portal logic stuff that we had added to Marvel World, like, I don't know, a month ago or 2 months ago, and I never used these portals in a country track, and the idea was to do this for Cook Islands. So I think this is what we're going to do today. Yeah, I think that's the best idea. I don't see any complaints from the chat. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Alright, so I'm gonna start a new world. So where do we want to build this? Cook Islands. I think honestly we just go the flat world, plain and simple. I'm gonna name the world the same way I named pretty much all of my country tracks: Marvel, GP, etc. Whatever the country is. And in the game we call it GP, and then whatever the country name is. So we call it GP Cook Islands. Oh, I haven't actually noticed the capital I is actually smaller than the lower tier L. Interesting. GP Cook Islands. This is what we're gonna do today. Here it is, flat world. So, Cook Islands, like the name suggests, it has something to do with islands, of course. This is what we're going to feature on this track. Now, the other part of the name, Cook, will be featured as follows. In the Decorations tab, under the Props section, we have many different fruits, vegetables, things to eat. Now the idea was to build a giant bunch of water, like as far as you can look, and then build a few small islands, all of them with a giant food prop linked to them. So for example, we build one island here, and we will plant not like this. We will plant a giant green apple on the island or above the island, and so we will have like many different islands with different fruits, vegetables, and they will be linked as part of with the portals. So they like teleport, the marbles teleport from island to island, and as such we'll finish the track. I think that's what we're going to do today. That was the idea. Just look into the chat, nothing happening there. Alright. Yeah, let's start, I think. So like I said, the first thing we need is water. And this is how we're going to do it. Build a little cube square. Do it upright and make it big. Very big. So we have to zoom out a bit here. And we go all the way to the exit. Well, to the exit, not the exit, to the border of the map. Don't even know how much space there is on this map until it maybe stops rendering. But we don't need this much space. We can just adjust the width of this track, of this shape, of course. And yeah, this is pretty much the whole horizon covered in, well, not in water, but we'll make sure it will be water. Well, there it is. By painting all of it with water. Actually, I just realized this is completely stupid to do it like this, because we will delete this now, because I think we have water. Yes, we have. Why wasn't I thinking about this? So we add real water and do it all over again. Just stretch this square thing out as much as we can, or well, as much as we need, essentially, to have a giant pool of water here. Okay, this graphic looks weird. No, better. Just adjusted it a bit, moved it downwards into the ground section. Yeah, and then stretch it out, and then we have a whole bunch of water, a whole ocean. Cook Islands, obviously. If you don't know the flag, it looks pretty similar to the Australian flag, if I remember correctly. I will check it. Hopefully, give me a second. Yes, it looks a bit like the Australian flag. The same color scheme. This dark blue with the little Union Jack in the corner. but instead of the well, spaced out white stars that we have on the Australian flag, we have a circle of stars, also right, in the middle of the flag. Kind of comparable to the flag of the European Union, where we have multiple stars making up a circle, and it's pretty much like this on the Cook Islands flag, just with white stars. Don't know how many. Yeah, but it's a part of the yeah, Australian continent. I think it's called Oceania, or yeah, in Germany we say Ozeanien, so like ocean, ocean in English. Oceanien, probably Oceania. Don't know for certain, to be honest, or if they just call it Australia. But yeah, this is our ocean surrounding the Cook Islands, and what we're going to do now is build more of these shapes right into the border of these 10 centimeter squares, and we keep it a bit in the ground, yeah, and then we make it bigger in all dimensions. Although, well, I think in terms of height, we actually don't go too much overpowered. Yeah, I think this is good. And now, expand. So we have a little island. Or you know what? In order to do it properly, so that both of these width and not height. What's the third? Length? Yeah, length and width have the same amount. We do it like this, and then just decrease the height again. I also don't want the islands to be too big in terms of area, because we're gonna have many of these, and we don't want the track to be that long. As long as the India track or the Australia track, which are I think my longest tracks. Also India is definitely the longest. I need to check. No, my Ireland track is even longer than Australia, but I think nothing except India beats Ireland. No, it doesn't. USA is also very long, as well as Mexico, one of my newest tracks. Also my personal favorite so far, because of the little backstory this track has, coming from an old PC game I own from 1997, Need for Speed 2 Special Edition, my first ever PC game from 1997, so it's 2 years older than myself. And one of these tracks is located in Mexico. It's called Last Resort. This is why I named my country track Mexico, Last Resort. And it is located in Mexico, and is, yeah, when you have the combination of the track and the car models, and especially the soundtrack of this track, it brings back so many good memories, and I just had to honor it in an appropriate way. And Marble World is definitely an appropriate way for this. So, Cook Islands, I think. How do we want to paint them? Do we go like flat green grass? Or is it more dirty than grassy? I think we'll leave it for now. But yeah, we might as well mix it. It's not that we have only one island, we have a few of them. So, in fact, we're just gonna copy-paste them and move them around a bit, because we want to have many islands, the Cook Islands after all. but you've probably never seen islands this squarey in real life. Only in Marvel World, or maybe Minecraft. Do you like Minecraft? I actually have never played Minecraft. Still consider myself a gamer. So we have 9 islands, make it 10. And I think we now will have a look into the props section to check how many fruits we actually want to feature here. Oh, you know what? We will do something fancy now. I told you that the stars on the Cook Islands flag make up a circle. I think we're gonna do it with these islands. Sounds like something quite cool to do. It doesn't have to be the exact amount of equality in terms of distance between the islands, but we just have to know what it will be in the end. So we can have this one here, go to the side, this one here maybe, put it down a bit. Did I miscount? 10. Should be. Oh. Oops. Oops. Misjudged. The. Oops. No. Delete it. Now, quite sad that one of our good mates back at UMR, at his streaming channel, which I highly recommend you go check out because his content is absolutely tremendous. But one of his mods, Quarantine Cheese, is very skilled in building marble tracks with pretty much every tool that Rinke, the creator of Marvel World, has given us in this sandbox mode, essentially. And back when we had a UMR stream, what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was not part of his racing season, but part of his, what should I call it, like free time stream. Bit of out of the ordinary plans. He just tried to build a track, UMR did, on the new factory map, which I haven't tested so far myself. And yeah, UMR, much like myself, I have to admit, we both maybe have to look into the skills Cheese has for his track building skills, because UMR and I, we pretty much took the piss out of each other in terms of our track building skills, or more like I took the piss out of his, because he wasn't able to do it for me. Because maybe he watches the stream. I don't think he does currently. I don't know. No, he doesn't, I think. But if he does, maybe he can take the piss out of my track building skills. But yeah, we have now these 10 islands, and I think we straight away will paint them. Normally I do painting as one of the last parts of my country tracks, but now we will do it straight away because it looks a bit like the circle of stars we have on the Cook Island flag. If we want to, we can even... Oh, do I have glow? No, I don't think this is glow. What is it? No. Not really. But we can work with it. My idea was to have this color and at the bottom, like underwater, so it makes up the Cook Island flag background, the dark blue that we also have on the Australian flag. I think that's kind of a good idea. So we just will copy this. I think we will slim it down a bit. Actually, go down here. Oh, this is too much. Too much down. So, where are we? We're here. Yeah. We can slim it down a bit. Some space. No space. No, it's underwater. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, first of all, we paint it, because otherwise we can't know the difference between this one and the actual islands. So we're painting it in a dark blue, which is absolutely not dark. Nope. And it has nothing to do with the underwater section. Okay, I think I'm gonna go even darker. No. I can't go that much darker, to be honest. We'll add this color. Yeah, I mean, I think it will do the job. Yep. We keep it like this. First have a look to the chat. No, nothing. To be honest, I think most people would feel sad or anything if there are no viewers on the first ever stream. From the beginning, it tells me we have one viewer, though I don't know if that is myself, if the person who actually streams is, well, featured or counted in this statistic. So it might actually only be myself, but I am absolutely not sad about it. This is my first ever stream. The most important thing is that all the technical stuff works. I know one thing that does not work, which is chat overlay, so I have to look into the chat. Or no, I have to phrase it differently, sorry, language barrier. I have to tab out of Marlborough in order to see the chat. Yeah, it's a bit annoying, but it's not something that can't be fixed for the future. But for now, we have to deal with this disadvantage, but we can do it. So, we now have our background as well as our stars, so to say. Now we have to decide on 10 fruits we want to feature for the 10 islands. And I think, where do we start? Here we start. I think we will start basically with red apple, banana, space them out a bit, carrots, very healthy, very delicious. Oh, didn't I place it? Oh, I placed it here. Oh, and I placed the apple also not onto the island. So there's the carrot. Carrot will go here. Where is it? Oh. You know what? We will make them a bit bigger so I actually see what I did. So there's the apple, there's the banana. Banana for this island. Banana. Every time I say the word banana in English, I feel like the Minions, if you know the movie. Also, I'm part of the Marble Minions team for UMR's next racing season, coming to life within the next weeks. Also, make sure to join his Discord channel. There you will have all the updates in terms of his racing and all the streams that he does outside of Marble Racing. And he was pretty much the guy that brought me into Twitch, actually. A few weeks ago, I just randomly went on Twitch and went into Marble World because I knew Twitch was for gaming, mostly. And yeah, I went into the Marble World section. Or, more precisely, I looked for the Marble World section because I didn't know that so many people actually play this, that it has its own section on Twitch. And when I saw the thumbnails of the videos of people who streamed Marble World within the last 2 weeks, I think it was 2 weeks, that's the standard setting on Twitch, one of the thumbnails actually featured my country track, Japan. And I was a bit shaken by this, because I didn't know it was so popular and it was used on Twitch. And yeah, then I saw it, and it was kind of a big deal for me, to be honest. And as such, I joined his list of followers, UMR's list of followers, on Twitch, as well as joined his Discord channel. And it's one of the best things I've ever done in my gaming career, I think. Gaming career. Sounds like an eSport pro. I'm not. I'm definitely not. But I haven't regret a single thing about this. I absolutely love it, because he names the marbles that he features in his racing after his Twitch followers. And so if he starts a new season, he resets the names, and all of the Twitch followers he has will have their own marble and will feature in upcoming races for the new season. We are now between season 2 and 3. So yeah, if you want to have your own marble racing in UMR's Twitch series, then feel free to follow him on Twitch and choose a team based on the color skin of the marble that you want to have for your marble. Yeah, but back to the Cook Islands. I think we have placed now 6 or 7, no, it's 6 fruits, vegetables. We have an apple, we have banana, what's this called in English? Grapefruits? Grapes, yeah. Cucumber, watermelon, and a carrot. I think we'll have, obviously, tomato. Very healthy. Actually, not a big fan of tomatoes. Like, pure tomatoes. Like, ketchup is okay, but like tomatoes, slices or anything, nah, don't really like it. Not even on pizza. Speaking of things that nobody likes on pizza, we need pineapples. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Yeah, you will not get that melody out of your head for the rest of the day. And we have 2 spots still open. Pepper. Peel. I think we need a balance between like fruits and vegetables. So we have like apple, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 fruits and only 3 vegetables. Cucumber, tomato, carrot. I think we need more vegetables. So my idea would be pumpkin, onion. God, I hate onions. Onions are even worse than tomatoes. But yeah, this is what we're gonna go for, I think. Pumpkin. Every time I see the pumpkin prop here on Marble World, I'm thinking about doing a Halloween track, like real Halloween themed. But then I remember that first I already did like a track with all the Halloween props very early in my country track series. I think it was the 4th or 5th track. It was Romania, because Romania obviously is the origin country of Dracula, of the myth, and all the books and everything. And the country that actually invented, sort of, Halloween was Ireland, which is already featured as a country track. So I'm really struggling to find any like reasonable excuse to build another Halloween themed track. But maybe I will find a solution for this in the future. Yeah, pumpkin, and then I think, onion. Ugh, I hate them. But many people, no. But many people like them. And so we will have it as a part of our Cook Islands. Now I'm just gonna place all this fruit like as much into the middle as I can. Also the lighting on this map. Ooh, lovely. It's very rare to see the sun like 180 degrees above your head. Especially here in northern Germany. Here we actually are happy if we see the sun at all. I think many people of the community of UMR on Discord are, I think, from Great Britain, as well as the legend himself, UMR. So they maybe can relate to other parts of the world that don't see the sun too often, and maybe endure much more rain than others. So last but not least, the pumpkin. So now we have, the onion is actually way too much in the air. This is also some sort of thing I need to remember. This three-dimensional track building. Tomato can go higher, grapes definitely can go higher, and the pumpkin. So, can even go higher. I think what we're gonna do now is head over to the tracks after we saved it. So, the question now is, which food do we want to have as the starting point? What do I like the most out of all these? I like bananas, pumpkins, grapes, tomatoes not so much, cucumbers are basically water, same with melons, pineapple as long as it isn't placed on pizza, carrots, onions definitely not. I think we're starting with apples. Yeah, apple is good. So, we need 2 spawners, with each having 36 races. Oh well, I think I will do it in a 45 degree. No, we are heading away from the carrot. Of course, the start has to be downwards facing, because we want to get the marbles like actually starting. Don't edit it. Also, we make sure that we don't hit the apple. Although that might be a good feature for like the cucumber or the carrot. Like, place it directly in the middle and have it as an obstacle for the marbles. Ah, that would be cool, yeah. But for now, we will start with this. Do we go for another? No, we keep it like this and steady it out. Yeah, I always want to make sure that the first actual turn is right-handed, because here on the marble spawner, pole position is actually on the right side. So if we took a left turn here, then the marble starting P4 would have a much bigger advantage than the marble starting on pole, which basically misses the purpose of pole. But yeah. Oh, speaking of pole, I have a very strict plan for the Poland country track, which will be upcoming, yeah, I don't know when exactly, but I don't think it will be too long, so stay tuned for this. But for now, we are still here in the Cook Islands, and I will move all of this stuff a bit to the right, I think. Yeah. Are we still? Yeah, we're still. Maybe not too much. In order to stay on the island, pretty much. Yeah, fair enough. So the marbles will come here, then cut this corner here, and they pretty much will skip this whole left-hander and go straight here into the hairpin. But that is no problem, because after that we will have another short left-hander coming up. Will be a hard impact on this wall here. So many of these marbles will, by the end of this raid, will be here instead of here. But this won't be a problem, because this is only the first of 10 parts of this track. Actually, do what? I will shorten the start-finish straight. In order to move all of this a bit more to the edges, because I want to have a bit of space here behind the start-finish straight. Yeah, that's good. So, now, how do we want to continue this? You know what? Some things always work on these country tracks, and in this case, it is the obstacles on the downward section part. So we already have this part of the Cook Islands. Yeah, but what's the wording that I need? You see, this is the language barrier I was talking about on the Discord, if you read my message on the UMR Discord. Sometimes I need to search for the right word. But since this island is also dedicated, is the word I was looking for, to apples, why don't we just put apples all across the map, or the track? So we have this labyrinth, so to say, of fruits. litter the track with them. Is this in the middle? Kind of. Don't get too aggressive with the decoration. It's the same distance? Yeah, it probably is. Alright. But with that, I think we're already finished with the Apple section of the track. I think we will go straight to the border here of the track, of the island, of course, and then we are going to head into our first portal, if I can find it. Logic, no. Racing, no. Special, yes. I think, maybe not, yes. Portal, love it. Also a good computer game, Portal. Although I prefer Portal 2. Now when I look into the time, I'll probably don't finish the track today. I'll finish it on another day. But for now, we definitely have to make the portal bigger. Oh, no. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And link it to another portal, which we have, or we will have, here. Taking a look into the chat, nothing. So, we'll start with a simple straight, but I don't know how these marbles are behaving coming out of the portal. So I will make it facing downwards. Actually, how does this look? Does this have some sort of special effect? When you link them? Linking mode? Oh, yes. Oh, nice. Cool. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know that. I normally use very, simple ways to build these tracks, but this is actually really cool. For this section, the carrot section, I think, we will do it just splash in the middle, but I have a better idea. In the middle until the edge of the track, however, what we're going to do is we will have a split. And what will decide the split is going to be the carrot. The carrot is going to decide. Oh, this is actually a bit too much, maybe? Yeah, you know what? I think that will work. So we have the carrot split, so to say, and we will put it Right, belongs right in the middle. Kinda in the middle. I think the edge here is in the middle, so we'll leave it at that. And then, after we straighten it out a bit, or do we straighten it out? No, we don't. We go straight into the turn. Oh, you know what? We do a U-turn. This is heavy. This is heavy stuff. Marbles could fall off here if we are not careful. Nice. Yeah, we do a U-turn. And then what shall we do next? Bit of straight. Then we do some sort of zigzag. And you know what? Let's go into 2 portals. I think that's a good idea. One for each side, and then those 2 lanes will re-emerge, but not on the carrot section. Maybe on the pineapple section. Yeah, let's do that. So we do... let's do another one of these. Where's the edge? Nowhere to be seen. So we're gonna have more portals. I don't think that sounds good. Or looks good rather. Oh, I just realized I have to place them exactly at the right point. Compared to the other. Yeah, that one. I think that is the same amount of space. No, it's not. Oh, dang. Yeah, now it is. Yeah. Nice. So, and this is already the carrot section. As we're moving now towards the pineapple, who lives in a pineapple under the sea, I don't know, but we're definitely going underneath the pineapple. Yeah, I think I will do 5 sections today, 5 sections on the second part of this stream, since we started with, building the islands and everything. Yeah, so part 1 will be building the water, the islands, and choosing the vegetables and fruits, and doing the first 5 sections, and part 2 will be the other 5 sections, as well as painting, testing, all of that good stuff. So I will do 5 sections: pineapple, watermelon, cucumber for today. So this will be the start of the pineapple section. And as such, we will have the split again. This time going in the other direction. And we move all of this a bit away. One piece, because... Oh, you know what? We'll do something else. You see, most of this stuff that I built is very spontaneously. I have the basic idea of what I want to build, but the actual building process is not very planned, I don't think. As you can maybe tell. So oops, that's not what we want. This is what we want. So now we need a left turn, and yeah, this seems reasonable. So now the question is, can we put the portals in halfway decently the same position on each side? First of all, we have to create them. I'm thinking like right at the edge here. So I hope we can also do this here. I think we can. Yeah, we can. Perfect. Now we go into linking mode. So if you come from this side, and this is the left side, yeah, you know what, we will link this to this, and then this to this. Perfect. Yeah, I think that works. Then we're heading underneath the pineapple. What do we do then? What do we do then? You know, when I think about this, pineapple, and me referencing SpongeBob twice, maybe get an idea for SpongeBob tracks. Yeah, a SpongeBob track I think would be cool. However, I need to figure out which country I will do this on, because it has to be some sort of logic behind this. I think it's an American TV series, but it's in the Pacific, so maybe I can use any of the Pacific countries. You know, in the intro of SpongeBob, not in the intro, but some of the starts of the episodes, they show this real-life little island with the two palm trees on. Maybe I'll do some sort of Pacific island country. Yeah, maybe something like, I think Nauru is a little island in the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, maybe we'll do this. But for now, we're still cooking our foods on the Cook Islands. And we will do... not this, we will do... What will we do? Make another 90-degree turn, followed up by a bit of straight, and this turn. You know what, let's go a bit more. These sections are always very tricky, so we have 4 U-turns heading into the next section already. which is the no, not the cucumber, the watermelon. Yeah, that works. Oh, you know what? Is this like really round? Yeah, it's completely circle, I think. Oh yeah, this is good. This is perfect, because then we will have a giant funnel. Is this in the middle? No, definitely not. Yeah, I think. Maybe not. Is it? No. Don't move. Don't move the fruit. Yeah, this is slap bang in the middle. Nice. What we're gonna do is have a funnel. Actually, we now have to move it. Have a funnel, and all of the marbles will be dropping out of the portal, which is located at the very top of the melon. So, special again. We're always very special. Do it completely flat. Is this in the middle? Oh, no, it's not. Do the fine-tuning here. Alright. Now it can go upwards. Actually, don't have too big of a fall here. Oh, you know what? Doesn't matter. Have them fall. And then we need some sort of safety net around the funnel in order to actually catch the marbles, because I don't want to have the marbles drown in the Pacific Ocean. Is it the Pacific Ocean? I don't know if the Cook Islands are located east of Australia, then it would be the Pacific, or if they are west of Australia, then it would be the what's it called? Is it the Indic Ocean? I don't know. Yeah, but nevertheless, we need this. We need this. We need this, and we need to do this, basically. But we are going to do it heavier. Because we need to cover the whole space between the funnel and the portal. And as such, do we have something else for this? No. We need to do it. Space it out. It looks like a lamp now. Yeah, very exciting stuff to do here. This has to go faster somehow. Oh wait, do we actually need to go faster? Where's my portal? Yeah, it's good like this. Where's the funnel? It is. I think that's good. Also, the most important thing is to paint this transparent. Or not transparent, invisible. Yeah, so, to be honest, I don't think we need much more. Do we? Yeah, we do. We do. That's the reason I placed this a bit higher. Because this will also be a track. But we will aim it towards... No. Aim towards the cucumber, which will be the next section. And the final section for today's stream. Yep, sounds good. Now we'll know we need this, because we don't want this track to be clipped against the tube, but we want to have it in the middle. Yeah. No. Yep. Better. Can we go up one? Oh yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, so we enable this, we will go like this, and like this, and like this. Move one more, no, better not. And then, once again, it is portal time. Do it a bit bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's, by the way I do the checkpoints for racing, so they don't, they are not able to interact with the marbles. I usually do them as big as these portals are, in order so that they can't be hit by marbles. But yeah, this is the next portal. Also, maybe we should link these and this. Yeah, we have our catching fence here. I think also this will be the first country track without these elevator lifts. Oh. But this is what teleportation can do for you. So, we will copy this portal. Yeah, so we can do it like this. Maybe a tile. And then... No. And then we can get into the cucumber part. You know what's just coming to my mind? When a marble gets into the portal, how do I know it comes out of this side and not the other? I think we're gonna have to test that later when we test the whole track. Which, like I said, won't happen today. So, the cucumber track. Will feature a long downward section, not that one. And we will have a labyrinth again, but not this kind of labyrinth, because we have cucumbers, which means that we can place these, but we can actually lay them. Does this work? It does work. Also, they are very small. Feels like. Yeah, we place them on the ground, and to be honest, just spam them. Why is this not facing downwards? Yeah, these are the struggles I have to deal with every time I build these tracks, because I'm simply not good at building these tracks with what the game has to offer. All different angles. This is good. And then we will have two in the middle here. No, not this way. Of course not. This way. Just a bit more dark. Yeah. Holy moly. Good thing that Cheese is not here today. I know that for certain. Because he would be having a heart attack already if he sees my track building skills. And I think we're just gonna copy all of this. This. And build it again here. And then we have a little cucumber labyrinth. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad, I think. I've seen worse, especially from myself. We loop around the giant cucumber. We do one last fat U-turn for the day. Straighten it up a bit. And then we reach the end. And I think we will end it with a big splash. big splash into the water. These marbles should not be trusted when they are racing. They will fall through every loophole there is. Yeah. Will be a giant splash. Splash for the cash. Oh, still need to link these two points here. And then we're going to save, of course. And then I think what we can do is test everything that has been built so far. But of course we need a checkpoint for this, obviously. So this is what we're going to do. Before we test it and end the stream on this. Looks good. So, this is the only checkpoint I will build now, because I just want to test the map. I'm going to say 36, randomize my custom modes, my custom set of models from my own racing series, which is basically just for me. I haven't recorded it or streamed it or anything. It's basically just for me, for fun, to relax after a long day of work, have a bit of marble racing action. And yeah, we will do of course one lap, because we won't finish it anyways, and I think we will start the race without this one. Let's see if this works. So we have Hemo with the bloodlines, which is how I call the blood-skinned marbles, in the lead, but Heat has overtaken him. Now Buzz is in the lead. So far, we have lost Bonbon. So far, so good. Okay, this is something we need to change. They are all going into one lane, except for Admiral, who will come out shortly here. Oh, or not. Okay. So Heat will drop. Yeah, this works perfectly. This works exactly how I wanted it. Nice. No, this doesn't. Okay. We know what the problem is. We just turn this, and what's the other? I think this. And then we will save. We will deal with the problem that they only race on one lane later. Go out again. This time it's Citral in the lead, on pole position in front of Admiral, Feather and Heat. Citral maintains first place, but no, Dashi from the Rainbow Rushers is through into first place and will shortly enter the first portal which he has. Oh, Mandarin from the Oranges is heading into the other session, as well as... no, nobody. They're all going to do that. Dashi still leads, but India from the Indigos is making a charge. And this could be contact now into the next U-turn. No, it isn't. Same here. and that will drop onto the funnel. India in the lead. This looks perfectly. Yeah, the cucumber labyrinth. Feather has fallen off somehow. Yeah, I will do invisible walls at the exit of the tube. I do that usually when I have these tube sections. Admiral and Feather have fallen off. And India and Hero will splash into the portal, which doesn't have any meaning so far, but will happen in the future. Nice, this is what we want to see. Flake got stuck on the fun flake of the snowballs. Buzz and Cloud are still at the apple section. Are they? What have you done? Okay. How has he got stuck here? Wasted too much time buzzing around here. The Cloud got stuck on the apple. Yeah, but this works. Nice. Good to know. Yeah, but I think that will be it for today's stream. This was my first stream here on Twitch. I really enjoyed it, despite doing it in English. Yeah, I think I will continue the stream sometime in the upcoming week. Don't know when exactly. But yeah, then we will finish this track, polish it a bit, paint it of course, and then upload it into the Steam workshop. But guys, yeah, if you enjoyed this stream, let me know, please. As I said, this was my first ever stream, and I'm open to any kind of feedback, positive or negative. For sure, one thing that will be better in the future, not in the near future, but in the future, will be the quality of my audio, especially my mic. I will work on this, and yeah, I'm trying to test my skills here on Twitch. I know it's basically very easy when you have done a few streams in your life, but the beginning is always the hardest part, I think. But yeah, it was very enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to finishing this track in the near future. So yeah, I'll see you when I'll be back. And make sure still to join UMR on Twitch, UMR Ultimate Marble Racing, and follow the links in his channel description to the Discord. Yeah, then you will be featured if you do it in time, within the next time, in the next season, or at, in worst case, the season after that. Yeah, have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Bye.